Welcome to the Everyday Guy Show.
Every day,
Brought to you by the Everyday Guy.
anyway,
For the Everyday Guy.
any day.
This is for the Everyday Guy.
Welcome to the Everyday Guy Show, brought to you by the Everyday Guy for the Everyday Guy. But it's a little twist. As you can see, we're not in the studio today, and we do got some special guests. Now, it's no secret to anyone that the relationship dynamics nowadays is a little sketchy, to say the least. Social media bombards us with all these unrealistic expectations and all this misinformation, which is leaving a lot of people wondering, what is the actual point? Now, with the rise of the woke boss babe mentality and the red pill butthurt culture, we see a lot of people focusing on the problem. But what about the solution?
What about it?
Now, that's the purpose of the show today. We're trying to figure out, is it actually broken? Do we want to fix it? Or are we good to go as it is? So with that, I'm going to throw out the first question, okay? If everybody is Mr. and Mrs. Independent, what's the point of relationships? Because it's my understanding that relationships are meant to be cooperative. It's not meant to be a solo game. So what's your opinion on that?
Who's gonna go first on that one?
What type of relationship you're in. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended, you know what I mean? But being independent is one thing, but you gotta depend on someone to have your back, but you should never get into anything knowing that someone's gonna be behind you. You should go into everything yourself. If you got your back, they got your back. In a relationship, it's loyalty and trust. That's what I think. So,
Big facts. Big facts.
I feel you on that one. I feel like in relationships, it's always good to like have a partner, but it's always also good to hold your own. You know what I mean?
fine.
Like you should always have your own back just in case like anything happens, because anyone can switch up at any point. You never
That's
know
the
what's
problem.
gonna happen. You know, especially in today's like environment and the culture and everything that's going on. Like no one really wants to be tied to anyone. Like it's like
Damn.
a death sentence. You know what I
Damn.
mean? It's crazy, but like that's how people
Well,
see it.
like my opinion, relationship shouldn't feel tight.
It shouldn't. It
Shouldn't feel
shouldn't
like-
feel like that. You know what I mean? But like because of like you said, social media and everything like that, everyone's looking at everything that's on screen. Like no one knows what goes on behind closed doors.
It's true.
Like it's just a picture perfect world. Like when you look at social media and you're just like, yeah, I want to be like that couple. You don't know what's going on behind that couple's like back. Like you don't know what she's into, what he's into. Like you don't know the dynamic behind their situation.
Well, everyone's always posting the highlights.
Yeah,
We're-
always the highlights.
You know, we're not seeing the hard times or the...
I feel like in relationships, it's always good to have, like, as a female, I feel like it's good to have a guy that can lead you to where you need to be.
Well, for the female, she should help.
I feel like,
You know?
of course, I feel like motivation. She can help you with motivation. She can help you feel like solid in your endeavors and everything you do. Like you feel structure. Like she gives you structure
Yeah,
and guidance.
we got a boss culture though, so all the want to lead and make the guys basically be the too in the game.
Keyword.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
so
Difference between and women. You know?
there's a big difference. So now, are females gonna be in the category where they're influenced by all this culture, or are they gonna be in the other category where they're like what Martin was saying? Are they gonna be in a place where they're gonna be cooperative? Like, are we building? If you and I are in a relationship,
Yeah.
are we gonna be building together?
Sir.
And
Yeah.
that's gonna be my
But like, are you that kind of strong man that can help me build or can build and have me follow you? Like, are you that person? Because a lot of guys today aren't that guy. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
It would be like selfish. So think about it, like in construction, for example. You can't build, the foreman can't build the whole house.
Facts.
You know? So the electrician has his part, everyone has their part. Same thing in a relationship. So either the man can be doing his role in certain things, or
Facts, yeah.
who cares if the woman's a breadwinner? It is what it is.
Exactly.
But you got to know that's their role, and that's my role, and you guys got to
It's a balance.
I mean, I think it's 50-50 on both ends too as well, because if you are getting into a relationship, that is something that both parties know you're getting involved in.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that you know sacrifices will need to be made.
Fact.
Right? Sometimes, yes, you will have to say, you know what, I gotta bite the bullet on this one. Sometimes you're able to
That's fair.
stand your ground.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be a give and take. It can't just be like, okay, well, you're the man. You need to be stronger. You need to be doing this. You need to be taking care of me. You need to be bringing in the money. You need to be bringing all of this. But then you can't also turn around and say that I don't need a man at the same time.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Right? That's redundant for you to be able to say I don't need a man if you still need a man to do those things for you, right? So
Flip the question around.
See, that's
Are you able to be a woman?
That's what I'm saying. You have to.
Flip it around. So yeah, like everybody's like, hey,
No,
there's
fair,
no men
fair.
out there. That's why we're doing the everyday guy, so the
No,
everyday
fair.
guy can show up and be a better man for the women.
Everyday guy.
that's right.
But that's the thing nowadays. Like,
The problem to me with the 50-50
Women don't want
structure,
everyday guys.
the problem.
See,
That's facts. That's
Women don't
facts.
want
No.
everyday guys.
No. The
Women want-
problem, like coming back to your 50-50, the problem I see with the 50-50 today is that the girl and the guy, they pay, like they split the bill. They both pay the bill. They're 50-50 on that. But then you come
No, I
home.
don't agree with that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But like when you come home, then the girl, she has to cook, she has to clean, she has to do all this. So she has to take care of the house,
Nah.
but still pay half the bills. That's what I'm saying. Like some of the guys today, that's how it is. You know what I mean? So that to me is not 50.
Okay. Let's talk about the roles that you
Yes.
just said. The
Yeah,
responsibility.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Doing the dishes, doing all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay? What about mowing the lawn? What about watering the grass? What about going and doing grocery runs for whatever
And keeping
we're
you
sent
safe
to
from the
do?
robbers.
Yeah, that too, you know?
Who's gonna get up and die?
There's a lot of things that men also do
Taking
too
out
as
the
well. We also do things that are not highlighted, that are not highlighted and are not given credit for from a men's perspective. We're not being given credit for that.
Mhm.
Because you completely overlooked that just now.
no, but you said,
Right.
No.
Okay,
Right?
go ahead.
but do you do the stuff like that?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay.
That's
I live alone, so I don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying?
my
So,
point is like not all men are built like you guys. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this generation. The man just wants to sit at home, have you come home from work, make his meal, and just chill. You know what I
Is
mean?
that the everyday guy or the guy that?
Yeah. Which guy is that?
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, we're not
Yeah.
talking about the wastemans though.
You know?
There's just
hold
a
on.
difference
But
between
in
the everyday
today's
guy.
day and age, like most of the mans are waste mans. That's why the woman is trying to be the man in the relationship.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm
that's
saying?
Yeah.
Just
And
like,
that's the problem.
But look, if you love that guy and you know he has that issue, you should motivate him to get better.
Exactly.
If you really love that person.
Agree with that.
Just because everyone has their downfalls at certain
100%.
times, you know? So
100%.
Yeah.
but then doesn't it go back to if that person really loves you, wouldn't they do that for you automatically, regardless?
It should be that way, right?
Okay, but
should
isn't
be
that
that
would
way.
probably be something that you should probably question in the situation? Is this something that I really want? Is this a person that I really want? Where I'm gonna have to
Exactly.
fight for
So,
this
quick question.
for whatever X amount of
lady,
you know?
what would you consider like the perfect thing?
That's a good question.
I don't think there's any perfect guy. I think there's always a perfect guy for a person, but I don't think there's a perfect guy in general because everyone has their flaws. You know what I'm saying?
What's the ideal situation though? Because they're saying the everyday guy, for the most part, on average, is just sitting at home eating Cheetos, not being able to see his.
I know a lot of them.
You know what?
Tasting guys. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's what I see. Like I'm not for that kind of guy for sure. I'm into like the 60-40. You know what I'm saying? Like my man take care of like the manly stuff that makes him feel like a man, and I support him. You know what I'm saying? And I act out like the woman stuff. Like I make him feel like he's in control. He's in charge.
That's motivation indirectly. So you
That's
don't
what
have
I'm
to-
saying.
That's-
That's what I'm saying. And that's
Okay.
how I think it should be.
Okay, so that'll bring me to the next question. Is Till Death Do Us Part outdated? Do
Oh,
people
damn.
really think that couples are meant to stay together forever? Like, is that something that is an actual expectation nowadays, or are we just having fun with one another for the moment?
I feel like if you guys have a
Good question.
goal to be married and to have kids, like I'm not about to have kids with no one I'm not trying to stay forever with. That's just free.
Yes.
For me personally. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking if that's your goal and that's what you have in mind, then sure, I think dead till death do us part. That's the goal. That's what it should be. No matter what happens, you guys work shit out. But also with that comes good communication. If you guys don't have that, then you guys have nothing.
Statistically, women leave the relationship more than the man. The man is willing to sacrifice his happiness to keep the family intact, but it's the women statistically that cut it.
Men just cheating.
And women don't cheat.
Well, you know what?
No.
No?
No.
No, women don't cheat, really?
These are traditional ones, though.
Okay, that's not
Say,
You know,
like,
My
like-
husband cheated on me and left me with a child and never paid anything. So
Because he's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
this is
But-
not working.
no, he's not a good guy.
But is that a man or is that your husband?
That's your husband, not everybody. You know what I mean? So-
But 90% of men are like this.
Really?
You know what? I'm gonna grab you 100 men, and I guarantee it's not 90%.
That's not true. That's not true.
Is that what you guys really think about us?
Yes.
If there's two men,
Maybe not be the right time.
I don't
There's
think it's
10 guys,
90% of men.
if
But
there's two
I
men here that
think,
take care of
like-
the kids that matter on.
I don't think it's 90% of men, but I think men are swayed sometimes, you know what I mean? And there's always like a pretty new shiny thing that's coming along, you know what I mean? And it takes like a certain kind of man to be like, you know what, I have my woman. Yeah, like I might not always be in love with her or be attracted to her, especially like, let's say she had a baby and she needs to get back out there and get on track and she's not looking fit, whatever. And let's say you're doing a job, like you're a promoter or whatever, and you're around girls that are fine as baddies. It takes a certain kind of man to be like, nah, I'm not going to cheat on my woman, or I'm not going to touch this girl just because I haven't had sex and like whatever, because she's pregnant or she's whatever. It takes a certain kind of man. And what she's trying to say is that there's not a lot of men out there that would give that up. You know what I'm saying? They want to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
fair enough. As a man, it depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're gonna enter a relationship, is it a commitment? And the question is, till death do us part. So if the man cheats, are you gonna kind of talk to him about it, or are you just gonna go the other way?
That's where the communication
And
comes in.
and is
For
the
sure.
family the priority, or is the two male and female dynamic the priority? 'Cause
I-
now we got kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the family is priority, but I think a lot of people have insecurities that they haven't dealt with. So like when cheating and shit comes into play, like they don't know how else to look at it. They just look at it with a one-sided mind.
The way that men and women cheat is different too.
Super.
Yeah.
Men, if they cheat, it's just a quick nut release, and then I'm back to my. I'm back to the what I
Back to
gotta
the grind,
what I
that's
gotta
Time doesn't matter.
Women, they'll line up backup after backup after backup.
Yeah, you guys have everything planned.
Oh, and it's an emotional thing. It's
So
sophisticated, calculated, and it's like, damn.
I don't think that's.
So it's bad because we're strategic with it. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah,
Like,
That's
okay.
It's way more.
It's a bad
Like a
decision.
guy could literally see a girl that he don't even really like that much, and it'd be like, you know what? Alright, real quick to get it out. A girl, she's gonna like that.
Well, if you don't
Yeah,
like her,
she-
then why risk losing your wife?
That's what I'm saying.
But that question doesn't change the fact I'm spitting. You know?
But
what I'm
don't you
saying?
think
No, I
that
understand what you're saying.
Because you obviously look at her. You have to.
That's a quick
Wait,
nut. So why
no,
would
but
you
I'll put it to
sacrifice
you,
a quick
but-
nut
but I'm-
for?
The
But
thing-
most
the
times,
thing
men,
is- the
they
thing
let
is,
them do that.
It's a fundamental
They
difference,
what?
right? Because men and women think different, right? So
Mhm.
I would get that you would say, in my head, that don't make sense, right? Just
Mhm.
like, I don't know, like you said, when you have feelings, you go through like postpartum depression, all that
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about. That don't make sense in our head, right? But it's
Mhm.
a feeling of yours and your female mind. We
Yeah.
gotta just comprehend and
Yeah.
understand. So at the same time, in our male mind, I know it doesn't make sense in your head, like, because you're like, oh, obviously he must like them. Because if I'm gonna cheat, I like them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here telling you that's not how this mind works. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just understanding the difference in between how our minds work. You know what I'm
But
saying?
like, don't you guys think like also that let the man to do that, or maybe they're feeling like ways at home or something?
That's what I'm saying. That's where communication
But
comes
to
in.
take the
Like,
credit, brother, to take the credit, some men just do it for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
That is
some
fair,
girls do though.
This is me openly
Yes.
explaining to you
Agreed.
why it's not deep. You know what I'm saying? And so to like every relationship, I always try to make it super deep.
no, I get that it's not deep to you, but that action that's not deep to you like that hurts us deep. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's about the reality, right? We're not
Yeah.
at the hurt, right? So the reality of the matter is that, okay, we've got to the point where a woman in her head thinks when she cheats, it's very emotional and they must like that person. And then a guy in their head, when they cheat, they think, nah, it's whatever. I'm just getting this nut off, like Broski said.
So
You know
do
what
you
I'm
think
saying?
it's acceptable to cheat on your own?
Now that's a different conversation, right? But see, that feeling always stops us
But
from
is it
accepting
yes
this
or no?
reality, right?
Yeah.
So let's accept this reality. Then I'm gonna hit your question. You know what I'm saying? And now your question, it depends. Like there's relationships where they're open. There's
Yeah.
relationships where they're polyamorous. There's
Yeah.
relationships where one thing would be considered cheating and the next relationship it wouldn't. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So to me, I think cheating on your relationship is if you lie to your girl after you guys come to terms on an agreement and you break it. You
Agreed.
know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Whatever it is. You know?
Yo, side note. I've been with polytinks, and the poly girl who was into this poly stuff got mad at me for talking to other girls. So I was like, okay, let's play the poly game. Now, females, they get possessive of the man. However, if no other women want the guy, you'll also lose attraction for the guy. So how does that work? So obviously other guys are gonna look at this and they're gonna evaluate themselves like, am I attractive to other females? And then if you don't agree with that, then the guy's kind of like left there. So,
But my question on that too is like, are guys okay with their woman not being somewhat possessive towards them? Because like if you're in a polyamorous relationship and your woman is not, like, you're supposed to be the main man and your woman is not possessive towards you, like,
see, again,
does
I
that
mostly
affect
agree.
you?
I mostly agree. Like, I wouldn't even. It's not even a problem to me that a girl is possessive. It's just, again, I feel like a lot of the times the girls don't accept reality, right? Because let's be real. If you guys are ever in a bad relationship, you've probably seen a bunch of red flags. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
it's very, very rare that you're in some relationship, you got like blindsided like a Netflix show. You know what I'm saying? You usually knew it the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
And I like that. Like a Netflix show.
The fact of the matter is that, like, we know it's just like we're not like being real about half this shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I think like communication is key in like every relationship. I think like if you can't communicate, then you guys will never get to that point where something's okay and something's not okay. You know what I'm saying?
and honestly, there's only so many nuts a man can bust. For real talks, there's only so many nuts one man can bust. So if I'm happy with the woman that I have, I won't be willing to ejaculate that resource. I'm gonna save it for the woman.
Yeah.
And what I see in today's society is the woman's not playing her part because of the woke boss babe culture.
It's okay. So, we're talking a lot about being in a relationship now. So I'll bring the last question, and you did touch upon it a little bit earlier. What is the 50-50 male-female relationship? Is that a real thing? Like, is that what is expected now, or
Are you thinking 50-50 on a bill or what?
50-50 on everything?
On everything? Shit. It
depends.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends.
Well, depends on what though.
What do you think?
What do you think about this?
She look like she got a lot to say, but she not saying it. She's like, yo, we gonna flip the tables and shit, you know what I mean? But
This is my face 20%. Do I believe in 50-50? No.
no, what do you believe in?
Financially, definitely not 50-50. Emotionally, yeah, 50-50. But I do think that the men takes the lead in a lot of things, so they are.
So what type of thing would say manage?
If your man get bad situation in life,
Would you deal?
yeah, like
No, I wouldn't leave him. No. I
so
would help him build.
50-50? You help with 50-50?
No.
There you go. But it's actually crazy to see somebody on that side say that, but
I mean, like 50-50 day to day, like definitely not. I mean, when I'm in any relationship, I was not working. That's just my standard, but everybody's different.
But did you want you like to live your life like that, not working?
Yeah. That's how I envision my life.
Oh, for sure, I'd like to live like that too.
Yeah,
I feel like
Really,
that's
would you though? Because, I mean, what would you be doing? Staying at home, depending on the girl?
Chilling with you.
No, I'd be rapping like I'm doing now, but
Well, that is work though. That is work.
I know, but like Everything else will be free.
Like the woman, if like the woman is the breadwinner, like the woman is mostly the breadwinner, and then you just like.
If my one was a breadwinner, I wouldn't mind.
That would be easy.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I think.
I would love it.
I think
Personally, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I have a friend that's
I
the
can't envision
breadwinner.
the men being that way.
No, I can't either because
Don't get me wrong. It's good
Yeah.
to, like, you gotta. What was that like?
There's a lot of
You
other
can't be
things
a
that have to do
degenerate
with life.
if you generate.
Yeah. There's a lot of other things I have to do in
Yes,
life.
it generates something.
I wouldn't just sit at home, but I'd love to get that done. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly. It takes so much off of you to have someone that takes care of everything. Like I have a friend, she like has like a 7 figure like job, like company, and she's like basically the breadwinner. And her husband just like takes care of her like emotionally, mostly. Like he gives like some stuff to the household and stuff, but she takes care of like the finances. Mostly.
Yeah. She's flying them out.
But they had the
Yeah,
agreement. Like,
Yeah. But like
that's-
emotionally,
right?
she's good. Emotionally, she's good. Like he makes sure that she's good. There's no doubt. There's no nothing in her mind. Like she comes home to a happy house, you know. And I feel like in all relationships, you can't really have just 50-50 because someone's gonna be up one time and then someone's gonna be down. And I feel like even if your man's up and you're not financially contributing, I feel like on the side you should be like hustling or whatever, or you should have like money put away just in case like something bad happens to him. Then you take the lead. Like you know what I mean? I feel like it's vice versa.
Well, you just said it's 6. So like, imagine if a woman did that and she never told him, and something did bad happen.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
a surprise guy.
Exactly.
Man, my woman.
Like I got you. Don't worry.
That's
that'd be
I would love that.
I think that's how it should be.
But sometimes that's
Low key, actually, it's female nature. So maybe in this circumstance, it works out for them. Majority of women, like she said, don't want to be the breadwinner, and majority of men want to be the breadwinner.
Yes. It's a masculine trend.
That's right.
That's where I was getting at. If you naturally want to sit at home, then like that's your nature. But I wouldn't.
No.
Guy,
I would
like,
never use
in
my spare
general,
time to just sit at home anyway. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But I was talking about all of the the
You can use your time
luxuries
to
that
like
come with that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was talking about. Like, if you sit at home with that, no woman or man should be sitting at home.
No.
with that shit.
No.
Basically, and
Agreed.
if I'm out there working, battling the world, coming home, the last thing I want to do is have a battle with the woman. 'Cause
Facts.
she can't hold it down on her own, and
Facts.
she's just there doing circles in her head, just
But,
chasing her tail.
like, so you gotta understand also for the women too. Like, think about it. If she's at home all day, you're out there. You know, there's gonna be days that she's gonna think of 1, 2 things. Oh, this guy's doing this and this guy's doing that. And the man might think the same thing. Oh, she's at home all the time. So you guys gotta ensure each other. Like, yo,
That's
you gotta show the love. You gotta, sometimes even
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
how you
tired, take that
greet each
person out,
other when they come home. It's how like you make them feel respected
take them out,
and cared
like,
for.
exactly. Do something different every once in a while.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Agreed.
Sometimes you gotta
100%.
step out of your comfort zone. And
I was
100%.
saying I would rather take the respect over love, because you can
Facts.
have love,
Facts. Yeah.
but if you don't have the respect, the
Oh,
love
yeah.
disappears with
Respect
love.
everything.
Respect
Everything.
is everything.
You got my
Yeah.
terrible household fight every day, and at the end of the day, love each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And their life's terrible.
Facts.
Yeah.
Or you can have respect.
Mhm.
And, you know.
Agreed.
So is death till death do us part a thing then?
Well, I feel like if you're trying to put a baby in me, then yeah.
Yeah, because then you're locked in. You're
Well,
locked
that's
in
just
with
my
that.
perspective.
that's
You know what I mean?
they say sometimes, like, even when you die, just the person you married, you love, you go with
Yeah.
heaven. You walk literally through the gates of heaven with that person, hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe in that quote.
Yeah, but that was back in a different era that we were all
still
that we
believe-
all came from. Like we're in an era now where it's easy to fall in love the same way you can fall out of love with somebody.
Yeah,
It's
true.
like that.
Love takes
But
work.
You can fall in love, and fall out of
some
love.
people mix lust and love too.
But that
You know what I'm
is true
saying?
as well.
That's the problem.
That is true. That is true.
Like nowadays,
You gotta know the
especially,
difference between both,
I don't
right?
want to get into detail, but
Mhm.
if you put it on proper, some women they and same with guys. If the girl, it works both
goes
ways.
both
I see that
ways.
happen. With a lot of people.
Same.
And then they get screwed.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the understanding of love as well. I'm going to conclude everything. Love. What is love? And most people can't answer that question.
That's actually
Most kids growing up have a lot of trauma. It's like 90% of people or something. So if you're not able to help yourself as an adult and understand what love actually means, conditional, non-conditional, the dynamic between a man and a woman, we all have female and male tendencies within us. As a man, I have that. I gotta understand what is more of my tendency, and as a woman, the women need to understand that too. Having said that, love in a relationship dynamic is meant to be fun and free. It's not something where you're putting cuffs on the person and locking them down and trying to discipline them. It's because both people want to come together and build something, create something,
Yeah.
cooperation. That's what he mentioned earlier. So are we coming from a cooperative space or are we coming from a selfish space? I'll leave it at that. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Every day.